My dear friends, how many tears resonate behind the walls of opulent residences in the lively metropolis of Verona City, where sprawling estates overshadow humble abodes. In this city lived a young woman named Lily. She worked as a janitor at the Silver Fork restaurant, spending her days sweeping floors and cleaning tables. Yet, in the silent moments between her shifts, she penned poetry in a single notebook she kept tucked in her uniform pocket. Despite her modest occupation, Lily carried herself with a serene dignity inherited from her father, a primary school teacher, and her mother, who sold produce at the local market. Fate took a different turn one evening when Ethan, the regional manager at one of the city's largest banks, noticed her while dining with his colleagues. He had dropped his costly pen, and Lily, who was cleaning nearby, picked it up and returned it with such meticulous care that it caught his attention. "There's something unique about you," he remarked, finding himself unexpectedly captivated by Lily. Ignoring warnings from his banking peers about courting someone below his social standing, Ethan pursued her relentlessly. He showered her family with lavish gifts and promises. Their courtship felt like a fairy tale. He would wait until her shift ended and drive her home in his sleek vehicle. Her parents, however, worried about the significant gap in their social statuses, prayed that this union would offer their daughter a better future. 3 months after their extravagant wedding, the dream crumbled one evening. Ethan returned from work to find Lily and her mother watching a local play on television in his elegant living room. "What is this?" he exploded. "You've turned my house into servants' quarters." His eyes burned with contempt. "Look at you both lounging on my imported leather sofa as if you're still in your old home." When her mother attempted to explain, he cut her off. "In this house, we don't act like impoverished people. Save your market woman's habits for your husband's dilapidated home." That night, after forcing Lily's mother to live in disgrace, Ethan revealed his true character. "I elevated you from scrubbing toilets to living in a mansion, yet you still behave like a cleaner," he sneered, pacing the living room. "Did you think marrying me would erase your past?" The abuse became a daily routine. Each morning, as he left for work in his expensive suit, he would taunt her. "Don't forget where I found you, mopping floors and cleaning tables. Your uniform is still hanging in that restaurant's storage room." When her father's roof leaked during the rainy season, Ethan made a spectacle of paying for the repairs. Months later, he used it against them. "Your father couldn't even fix his own roof. I had to save him from drowning." This is the family you came from, people who can't even maintain a simple mud house. During dinner parties with his colleagues, he would deliberately humiliate her. "My wife," he would announce proudly, "used to clean the very restaurant where we met. Now look at her, trying to fit into our circle." His friends would laugh while Lily sat there, forcing a smile through her tears. When her mother fell ill and needed medicine, Ethan made her beg for money. "Your market woman mother probably got sick from living in that dump," he mocked. "Should I buy her a mosquito net too? List all the things your poor family needs. Let me show everyone how charitable I am." Even her poetry wasn't spared from his cruelty. Finding her notebook one day, he read it aloud mockingly. "A cleaner's daughter trying to be a writer? Know your place. Some of us were born for greatness, others for serving tables." Each time she tried to defend her family's dignity, he would remind her, "Without me, you'd still be wearing that ugly cleaner's uniform, smelling of bleach and leftover food. I made you somebody. Never forget that." My friends, in our society, how many women endure such humiliation because a man paid for a roof? How many dreams are mocked because they were born in a humble home? One Sunday afternoon, Ethan's friends visited with their wives. As Lily served them drinks, one of his colleagues remarked on how well-trained she was. "Of course," Ethan laughed coldly. "She learned service at Silver Fork, didn't she? Once a servant, always a servant. At least now she serves in designer clothes I bought, not that cheap uniform." That same evening, when her parents called to check on her, Ethan grabbed the phone. "Your daughter is living like a queen now," he boasted. "Remember how you used to eat bread and beans? Now she dines at fancy restaurants, well, not cleaning them anymore." He laughed at his own joke. The next week, during a visit to her parents' home, Ethan made a show of inspecting their modest compound. "Look at this place," he said, loudly enough for neighbors to hear. "Lily, I saved you from this life. Your children would have been born on these cement floors instead of my bank's VIP lounge." He even began monitoring her interactions with her younger siblings. "Don't send them money. Let them learn to work like you did. Maybe another wealthy man will find them cleaning tables too." When her father's old car broke down, Ethan reluctantly paid for the repairs, but his generosity came with a condition. "Now I'm maintaining your entire family," he complained daily. "A teacher who can't even afford car repairs. No wonder you ended up as a cleaner." The final straw came during a dinner party at their home. As Lily arranged the plates, old habits from her restaurant days resurfaced. Ethan announced to his guests, "See how natural she looks doing that? You can take the girl out of the restaurant, but you can't take the restaurant out of the girl." That night, something inside Lily broke. As she stared at herself in their expensive bathroom mirror, her father's words echoed in her mind. "Money can feed your stomach, but it can't nourish your soul." My people, when did we start valuing humans by the size of their father's house? How long should gratitude become the chains that bind? That night, after the dinner party, Ethan was particularly cruel. Seeing Lily expertly arranging plates reminded him of her past. "Look at you," he spat, loosening his designer tie. "All these months of living in luxury, yet you still move like a common cleaner. Did you see how embarrassed I was when you started clearing the tables like you were back at Silver Fork?" Lily stood silently, her hands trembling. "I was just trying to help," she whispered. He cut her off with a harsh laugh. "I didn't marry you to have a housemaid. I have servants for that. Or have you forgotten? Should I pay you a salary too? How much did you earn scrubbing tables?" He grabbed her poetry notebook from where she had hidden it under their bed. "And this nonsense you write? Who do you think will want to read the thoughts of a cleaner? Your father couldn't afford to send you to university, and now you think you're a writer." As she reached for her notebook, he slapped her hard across the face. "This is what happens when you show kindness to poor people. They forget their place. Your mother sells vegetables in the sun all day. Your father teaches primary school children, and you clean restaurant toilets. That's your family's level." Then came the words that would change everything. "Maybe I should send you back to Silver Fork. At least there you knew your place in life. Look at how ungrateful you've become, forgetting who gave you this life of luxury." But this time, something was different. When he raised his hand again, Lily caught it. The fear in her eyes had been replaced by something else, dignity finding its voice. "My father may be poor," she said quietly, "but he never had to raise his hand to prove his worth." Enraged by her defiance, Ethan grabbed a knife from the dinner table. "I'll teach you and your poor family what happens when you buy a hand that fits you." What happened next would change both their lives forever. My people, at what point does gratitude become slavery? When does help become a weapon? As Ethan lunged with the knife, years of scrubbing floors had made Lily quick on her feet. She dodged, scrambling toward the guest bathroom, the only room with a strong lock. "You ungrateful rat," he roared, stabbing at the door. "After everything I did for your worthless family, I should have left you with your mop and bucket." Through the door, she could hear him ranting. "Your father still rides that rickety motorcycle to school. Your mother still sits in the sun selling her rotten vegetables. Without me, you're nothing but a common cleaner." But Lily had other plans. The commotion drew attention. Their new neighbor, Olivia, who lived nearby, broke down the front door. "This is how you treat the woman you claim to have lifted from poverty." Olivia's voice cut through Ethan's rage. Trying to send her back to her old life, they found Lily trembling in the bathroom, while Ethan, in his expensive suit, looked like a madman with the knife still in hand. "She should be grateful," he shouted, pointing the knife around. "Do you know where I found her? Cleaning tables? Look at what I made her." No sooner had he spoken than Olivia intervened. "Family, help Lily up. Look at what you tried to do, breaking a woman whose only crime was being born poor." As they led her away, Ethan's last words echoed through the mansion. "Go back to your father's leaking house. Go back to your mother's market stall. Let's see if your cleaner's salary can buy you designer clothes." But Lily didn't look back. At Olivia's home, attended by her elderly housekeeper who treated her with more dignity than her wealthy husband ever had. She finally let her tears fall. "I may have been born poor," she whispered, clutching her poetry notebook, "but my parents gave me something money can't buy: self-respect." My people, how many women are abused because a man wants to fix their father's roof? How many souls are crushed under the weight of false gratitude? In an ironic twist of fate, Olivia, Lily's neighbor who rescued her that night, was revealed to be the new bank executive overseeing all branches. Her first act of duty was transferring Ethan to a remote branch, far from his luxurious life. But the real victory came in smaller moments. Lily returned to the Silver Fork restaurant, not as a cleaner this time, but as its new owner. Olivia had seen the business potential in her hard work and helped her secure a loan. "You see," Olivia told her, "I washed my own mother's dishes and cleaned offices at night to pay my school fees. There's no shame in honest work." Her first act as owner was implementing better working conditions for the cleaners and creating a small library where workers could read and write during their breaks. When Ethan heard of her success, he came crawling back, his designer clothes now wrinkled, his arrogance deflated. "I was wrong," he pleaded. "Let me fix things. I'll buy your parents a new house, a new car." Lily's response was calm. "My father still rides his motorcycle to school, teaching children to dream beyond their circumstances. My mother still sells her vegetables, proud that her daughter learned dignity from her example. It's not about what we own, but what we were taught." At the restaurant's grand reopening, her parents sat in places of honor. Her father in his humble teacher's clothes, her mother in a market woman's apron, both beaming with pride. Her poetry, born in secret between cleaning shifts, was now framed on the restaurant's walls. One poem read, "They called my father poor, but he taught me to be rich in spirit. They mocked my mother's market stall, but she showed me how to stand tall. They sneered at my cleaner's uniform, but it clothed me in dignity." Ethan, who had grown to admire her strength and gentle heart, proposed, not with expensive rings, but with a simple promise. "Your background is not your shame, but your strength." Today, Lily runs the most successful restaurant chain in Verona City. Each branch has a small library and offers educational support to staff. Her parents still live in their modest home, now properly weatherproofed, but they've refused any grand gestures. As for Ethan, they say he now dines alone at roadside diners, humbled by life's twists. My people, let this story teach us that a father's honest poverty is worth more than a husband's amassed wealth. The hands that clean tables today might sign checks tomorrow. True love lifts you up without reminding you where it was found. Your background is your foundation, not your prison. Tell me, my people, would you rather be a cleaner with dignity or a prisoner in a golden cage? Has anyone ever tried to shame you for your humble beginnings? Remember, dear friends, that the child of a teacher might not own a car, but they inherit wisdom. The daughter of a market woman might not wear fine clothes, but she wears pride that money can't buy. Thank you for watching this story. Please share it with younger generations to impart wisdom and build a better society.